Welcome to the Moodle Quiz Training Series video number 4, Creating a Quiz Activity. Now that we have created all the questions, let's go ahead and create the activity and place those questions inside of it. On the main course page, click the Turn Editing On button. Now that this has been turned on, I'm going to go to Topic 4 and click on the red plus. I'm going to click on the Quiz Activity, and to give it a name, it will be the General Knowledge Quiz number 1. I don't have to enter a description. However, if you have special instructions, you could enter it here. And if you want those instructions to be displayed on the course page, you'll click on that checkbox. As you notice, the rest of the sections are collapsed. To expand them, click on the title. Under the timing section, you can decide when to open and close the quiz. You can set a time limit, and when time expires, what to do. Now, what I would like to suggest is click on there and say open attempts are automatically submitted. This will help out when anytime a student leaves a quiz accidentally, gets thrown off the internet, that quiz isn't held in limbo. It is then automatically submitted. And you can decide to give that student another chance at the quiz, if so be it. I'm going to enable the quiz for, 8 o'clock on the 25th here. I'm going to have it closed by clicking on the enable 2 days later. I'm going to give them 2 days to complete this quiz. And you notice it's a 24-hour clock. I would never ever recommend having it 0000 because students don't know when midnight falls, midnight of the 25th in the morning or at night. So always do 05 for 12:05 a.m. or 11:55 p.m. for the closed sessions. Now that we have the timing finished, let's go for the grade. If we already have a gradebook set up, we can click on the drop down and choose a category. For attempts allowed, you could make it unlimited or 1 to 10. If you make it more than 1 attempt, you could say what you would like to keep. The highest grade, average grade, first or last attempt. The layout includes question order. How would you like questions to appear on the quiz? If you would like to shuffle them randomly, you can choose that, or as shown on the edit screen. You can have every question appear on a new page, or all questions appear on one page. The question behavior. If you like to shuffle within the questions, you can mark this yes. If none of your questions have none of the above or all the above, you want to change that to no. And questions should behave as deferred feedback, always. Under review options, this is where it gets a little tricky. My recommendation, if you just have them take the quiz and you don't have any feedback in any of your questions, you can uncheck whether correct feedbacks and if it's the right answer. Now, when you go to take the quiz, you'll have to play around a little bit with how the questions behave, and I would choose adaptive mode, at least for now, to uncheck whether correct or the right answer. If you have either of those selected, it will have a box per question that the student will have to check to see if they're right. Now, adaptive mode, what that means is students have multiple attempts to get each question right. Some may like that, others may not. So once you have select that during the attempt, you can change that back to deferred feedback. And depending on what you'd like them to see or be able to learn later, if their attempts are correct and what is the correct answer, you can check that as you like. So I'm going to uncheck all these things. And now, display. Do you want to display the user's picture when they take it? It's not really needed. Decimal places for grades. I just leave this stock. I don't change any of the options here. If you work with extra restrictions on attempts, like if you want to require a password for them to enter in a quiz, you can do that. You can delay first and second attempts if you have more than one attempt enabled. Depending on how they do, you can put in a grade boundary like 100%. You can enter a grade like good job, you did a good job of studying. 90% is like, you did pretty well, but you have some things you need to look at, and so forth and so on. Common module settings. The only thing you have to really worry about here is the visible option. Change that from show to hide if you don't want them to see it right off. But remember, for them to take the quiz, you have to mark it to show. And finally, restrict access. If you want to hide this to before a certain date and time, like you notice I put it to September 25th at 8 o'clock, I can enable this at 7:55. So it's 5 minutes where it appear, but they won't be able to take it until 8 o'clock. I would be very careful on allowing access until, because once that date and time has been set, it no longer appears in the student's gradebook. However, it is still factoring in their final grade. And now that we're done entering all the settings, I'm going to go ahead and click on Save and Display, and that will take me into the quiz itself. In this video, I showed you how to create a quiz activity.